So the first trip I want to vlog about is a trip I've got planned in a couple of weeks' time to India. Now, I've been to India many times before, and it can be quite a challenging place to go. I've mainly been in the north of India, up in Himachal Pradesh, Manali, Shimla, Delhi, Chandigarh in the Punjab, been to Dharamsala, a few other places, but mainly all in the north, in the mountains, as I say, which is a beautiful place. But this time round, I decided that I'm going to go head south a bit. I'm going to start off in Amritsar. I'm going to go and see the Golden Temple, which I'm really looking forward to. And the border crossing with Pakistan. Going to go and watch the closure of the border, which should be also interesting. And then I am heading to Rajasthan, where I'm going to go to Jodhpur, the blue city, and then off to the pink city in Jaipur. And from there, I'm going to head down to Goa for, I don't know, 10, 12 days and explore Goa, where I've never been before, that far south. So really looking forward to it. If you're thinking about going to India, you really need to prepare. You need to decide what budget you want to do, how long you want to stay there, where you want to visit while you're there. And my advice would be not to try and do too much, because things can go wrong in India. It's not an easy place to get about and do things. I mean, it's well connected. You've got good trains. You've got cabs that you can use. You've got buses that you can use, and all of these are really cheap. But these days, as I've got a bit older, and I haven't been to India for probably 10 or 12 years, but I've decided to do it a little bit differently this time. To do it in a little bit more luxury. As I'm getting on, I'm a bit bigger, I'm a bit older, I'm a bit less likely to stay in a £2 a night guest house. So I've decided to use planes to fly between locations, which, if you can afford it and it's in your budget, then I would advise to do that, because that is the easiest way to get around these days. First things first, I would advise you to sit down, decide what your budget's going to be. Decide, are you going to use cheap hotels, a bit more sort of mid-range hotels? They've got 5-star hotels, which will probably never get any cheaper anywhere else in the world if you wanted to do that. Travel is cheap there, food is cheap there, so give some thought to your budget and where you're going to go. Decide how long you're going to stay for, and don't try to do too much. India can be hectic, it can be chaos, it can be scary. Things go wrong quite often, so you need to keep your plans fluid. Clothing. So in India, you need to dress modestly. There will be some places where you won't be able to get in if you've got shorts on for the men. Ladies, I would suggest don't wear anything that's tight fitting. Kind of cover your shoulders. You'll need a scarf. I would take a headscarf with you if you've got one, because I mean, you can buy them really cheap there, but you can just take one with you, pack it, wear it around your neck and pull it over your head wherever you need to. You might have to remove your shoes to go into some shops, and also obviously any kind of temple, mosque, anything like that, you're going to need to remove your shoes, wash your feet, wash your hands. So just be mindful of what you are packing. Of course, if you're going to Goa, it's a little bit different. When you get there, you can obviously wear a more westernized attire, I guess. But yeah, just try and be thoughtful of the locals if you can. Now, having said all that, I'm not trying to scare you. It's a great place to go to. It's an adventure. It's got full of culture. It's full of really nice people. There's just a lot of people there, so it can just be a little bit hectic. But it is a wonderful place to experience. So I would definitely encourage you, if you're thinking about travelling, get India on your list. Medicines, I would make sure that you take obviously any prescribed medicines that you need. Make sure you've got enough with you. But I would also take some medicines like cold and flu medicines, just in case you kind of get a bit of a cold over there, or take some anti-inflammatories, take some paracetamol, take some antiseptic cream, take some blister plasters, take some plasters. Take some toilet roll, because toilet roll is not everywhere in India. They don't use it, so take a roll with you if you can. If not, every time you go in a shop, buy a roll. And you're going to find that the rolls of toilet paper in India are a quarter of the size of what you get in the UK. And not everywhere sells it, so I would sort of advise you to stock up on that where you can. You have to be a bit careful with the food in India. Obviously, you can't just eat anywhere, but if you are going to eat street food, then try and find the best looking street food cart, which will normally have a queue of locals which are going to eat from it. Myself, I would eat the street food, but go into a restaurant and eat the street food. It's cheap. You're going to get 99% of the taste of as you would in the street, but you're just going to feel a bit more comfortable, that it's a bit more hygienic. So my tip is to go to a restaurant to eat the street food. The other thing, of course, is don't drink water unless you're 100% sure that it's bottled and it's from a source that is filtered. Even bottled water, just be careful where you're buying it from, because they can just refill the water bottles, and obviously if you're not from India, then your stomach won't be ready for that. So kind of make sure you're buying sealed bottles of water, and ask in restaurants if the water's filtered, etc.